here with Chris Walker, John Gonzalez. And Chris, your reaction to how this game played out. The Pacers built themselves a 10-point lead, then some late game execution where they struggled. Your reaction to how OKC was able to prevail.
Yeah, listen, I was talking to John in the green room. I said, John, they should be up about 15 going into the fourth quarter. They squandered some possessions in the end of the third quarter, didn't make free throws. I mean, just erratic offensive play. And then down the stretch, and I love Nembhard. He's done a great job, but he's taking circus shots. Haliburton, as I said before, if they're going to win this game, who did I say? He has to finish.
Yep.
Miles Turner was awful tonight. Neesmith was awful, just fouling for no reason. Just play solid defense on Shea, and you're fouling him on difficult shots. Listen, I've said Rick Carlisle's done a tremendous job. I've given him a lot of credit. You don't play Ben Mathurin. He scores 27 points. I thought his substitutions were erratic. And I think he put them in a position. How is Siakam not in the game? And you got Nembhard taking shots with Haliburton, who, again, he was in the torture chamber tonight. He made some plays, but he was on his heels all night long. So, again, I know the stats are going to say OKC shot 3 for 17 and you lost the game, which is ridiculous on the road, and they win, right? And you can say their defense won the game, but I disagree. I think the offensive selection, shot selection from the Indiana Pacers and two of their better three-point shooters in Neesmith and Turner were absolutely awful tonight, and it cost them the game.
SGA was SGA in this game.
It took him a while to get going.
Yes, but in the fourth quarter, he got to the free throw line, and he showed us why he is clutch. He showed us why he was worthy of winning the MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. Ends up shooting 50% from the field, and then he has 8 free throws. He makes all 8. He's automatic when he gets to the line. That's why we were saying, like, you know, this is something that is part of his skill set. But if you're the Indiana Pacers, this feels like a massive missed opportunity. Just the second loss for the Pacers in the clutch in the postseason this year. That is a 7-point lead going into the fourth quarter. You think that's it, that's a wrap. They're the closers. They're the ones who always play well down the stretch. Instead, it's Oklahoma City that flips it with a 12-1 run in the final 3 minutes. And for them to lose this game, the Pacers at home when they have a chance to go up 3-1, where SGA has no assists and the Oklahoma City Thunder go just 3 for 17 from deep. It is inexcusable for Indiana to lose that game. You would have thought all day long that's the Pacers game, and instead they're going back to Oklahoma City going, what just happened?
Let me read this to you. Teams were 4 and 34 this regular and postseason when having 5 or fewer three-pointers made. OKC made 3, make it 5 and 34. Well, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and it's because of the decisions on offense. There was no way they should have lost this game. I mean, Miles Turner, where was he tonight? He did not show up. And my thing is, again, and I love Nembhard, and that's why I was saying at halftime, I said, guys, if they're going to win this game, Haliburton's got to have one of those 30-point games. He's going to have to get it done. It may look like he played decently, but he wasn't aggressive all game long. And, again, he did not dictate the pace, so it's easy to look at his stats and says, well, he played good and SGA did this. But, again, they were able to continue to put the pressure on because Indiana was pedestrian on offense.
There's a theme here with Tyrese Haliburton. In the 2 games that they won, he was involved early and often. In the 2 games they lost, he didn't get going until, you know, second half, fourth quarter. You need more from Tyrese Haliburton early. I know that Rick Carlisle has said that that's not the way that their team is oriented, that they're a team ball kind of thing. When Tyrese Haliburton hits the 20-point mark, they're 34 and 4.
Exactly.
It's really that simple. He had 18 tonight, but it took him a second to get going. He just wasn't involved. You kept calling for him to get involved and to, you know, push himself into this offense and really assert himself, and he didn't. It took him too long to get going.
And here's the thing, Akeem, think about this. You're trying to beat a team that's historically one of the best defensive teams, an 80-team win team. Yep. I mean, I don't care what Rick Carlisle's saying about that's not how we play. Rick, who cares about that? You got a guy who's everyone's question is a superstar. You're up 7. You should have been up 14 going into the fourth. You're up 7. Miles Turner's not playing great. Neesmith's just playing erratic defensively. Jalen Williams is cooking him. He's fouling SGA. His mind's all over the place. And you got Nembhard taking ill-advised shots. And I'd like to see how many shots down the stretch that the Eastern Conference MVP took. Like, it's erratic offensively.
Yeah, they were outscored 31-17 in the fourth. In Oklahoma City, much like what the Indiana Pacers have done all postseason. They've come back from double-digit deficits. This was their 4th double-digit comeback this postseason, and they're great following a loss. Now 6-0 following a loss this postseason. When you look at what the Thunder was able to do against Pascal Siakam, had a fantastic game. But also, too, I want to take you back, John, to what you said about SGA. The 2 games they lost, he did not get to the free throw line double-digit times. The 2 times that he did, they won. He was 10 for 10 tonight for 35 points. So that's also the key there with SGA is getting to the free throw line, and he got to the free throw line late. Maybe a questionable call here or there, but he got the call, and he delivered with what we called on him to do. So he did. At-Star stepped up. Tyrese did not.
That's what he thinks he can do every time out, right? He expects some of the fouls absolutely were questionable.
Sure.
But he anticipates that he's going to get some questionable free throw calls, and he's going to get to the line. And once he gets there, as you mentioned, 10 for 10, he's automatic once he gets to the line. He very rarely misses. And then on the other side, the Pacers missed some crucial free throws down the stretch. There were a number of different moments where you thought, okay, this is where the Pacers can regain that lead that they had going into the 4th quarter. Instead, it was the Oklahoma City Thunder that played better down the stretch. And yes, they have been excellent following losses, 6-0 after losses. They haven't lost a back-to-back game in the postseason. They just answer the bell. We keep saying to the Pacers have been really good in the clutch, and they have, aside from tonight. But Oklahoma City, for all of the things that we dinged them for coming into tonight's game, hey, up against the wall against Denver, they answered the bell. Now up against the wall against the Pacers, they answered the bell. Now they have home court advantage back, and they're going back to Oklahoma City, where they've been fantastic all season long.
How do you feel about the Pacers still right now? Why do you still believe in Indiana?
Well, listen, they're going to have to win it in 7. All right, there's no way if Pacers in 6, that's done.
Okay.
I reserve the right to change.
I'll allow that. I'll grant
they're going to have to find a way because again, I was banking on them winning this game.
Absolutely.
And they had it in control. But hey, I'm not coaching. I'm not playing. I get to be a prognosticator. And what I'm saying is I'm being very critical of the way they finished that game. That, again, we can say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did his thing. But he was allowed to because if the Pacers were scoring, he doesn't get. It's a much different feel offensively for OKC because they're scoring and getting to the foul line. And that's the other thing. I love Tyrese Haliburton. You don't take but 1 foul shot, they play 4 games. That is what's going on right now. That's the overall theme. And I know he's been critical of the media and saying this, hey, bro, there's some truth to what's going on. This was the game that you could have shut everybody up and got it done. Don't ask me how. Shai got it done tonight, right? You want to be a star, this is the time you got to step up. And Miles Turner, he did not show up to the game bridge tonight. I don't know where he was. But, again, if he made a couple of threes, that could have loosened up the game because you could say the double big lineup helps. But at the end of the day, they got some some offensive rebound opportunities. But Hartenstein was just okay, but he made some crucial plays. Again, if they kept some plays alive, some hustle plays that helped when they were in a pinch. And then, again, Shai got it going, and the rest is history. Yeah. They just blew that game, man.
They did. The Thunder outscored the Pacers in the paint 50-36. However you want to draw it up, perhaps the double big lineup helped OKC in this game. They get back to what works. And you look, John, now at your expectation for the Pacers in this series, it feels like, man, if they take a 3-1 lead, it's over. It's a wrap. Now you start to feel like, okay, OKC can take control of this series. They get a win on the road. They're going to go back home on Monday night. They could really ratchet it up.
Yeah, that was a really gritty win for Oklahoma City, and I think it's just such a deflating, demoralizing defeat for the Pacers. If you're the Pacers, I think that they thought in that 4th quarter, going in with the lead, especially because the other 2 games that they won in this series, they were trailing going into the 4th quarter. Yep. Hey, we've got a cushion. This is easy work for us, light work for us. We're the 4th quarter team. We're going to pull away and go up 3-1 in this series. And I think maybe they were looking at that going, oh, man, if we're up 3-1, we've got a stranglehold on this thing. It's parade, it's championship time. And maybe they took their eye off the ball a little bit on this one. Going back to Oklahoma City 2-2. Chris, I know that you said if the Pacers are going to win this, they're going to have to win it in 7. It is hard for me to imagine the Pacers going to Oklahoma City and winning on their floor in 7 games. All of a sudden, this thing flips. In the 4th quarter, I was thinking, look at this. It's the Indiana Pacers. They're going to win a championship. And now I'm thinking, Oh, this summer, if they don't win this thing, and it looks right now like they might not, they're going to think about this night for a long, long time. And this is going to be the reason, potentially, why they're not holding a championship parade in Indiana.
Wow. The series is tied 2 games apiece as we head back to Oklahoma City for Game 5 on Monday night. OKC's 8th straight Game 4 win since 2020 and their first road win in an NBA Finals since 1979. And as you take a look at the schedule, perhaps it will be a best of 7 here. Maybe we will go 7 games. Or does OKC rip off 2 wins? Did the Pacers rip off 2 wins? This is anybody's series at this point. Game 5 when the series resumes Monday in OKC. You can watch the entire series on ABC.